Something you'll want to be thinking about as your baby's birthday approaches is which techniques you plan to use to manage the pain associated with labor and giving birth. There are two basic categories of pain relief available to you: pharmacological, in other words, medicine-based, and non-pharmacological, techniques that do not rely on any other type of medication. In this video, we are going to focus on those techniques that fall into the second category. Here are a few techniques that other moms have found helpful during labor.
So it's really important for women to know that non-pharmacological techniques of pain management are really very helpful in labor. There are many different ways of managing the pain of labor, but one of the most common is probably breathing techniques. As labor gets more intense, people often find that they need to increase the speed of their breathing. So you'll find they'll sort of breathe in and out slowly at the beginning of a contraction, and then breathe short little breaths over the peak of it, and then slow down as it goes away. Probably the most important thing is to remember to keep breathing. Don't hold your breath, because holding your breath makes you more tense and it makes the pain more intense as well. So being upright in labor is really very helpful. A lot of women find walking first provides a distraction, but it also helps them to deal with the discomfort and pain of labor. You would probably need to stop and pause to be able to breathe through a contraction when it comes. But the thing about being upright and being mobile is that it actually encourages the progress of labor. People find moving from one position to another very helpful, and lots of women actually find the birthing balls to be very useful. You can sit on those and rock backwards and forwards. You can move your hips around more easily. They provide an upright position and they help you with mobility at the same time. Lots of women have back pain in labor or backache. So one of the things that massage does is that it helps to interrupt that whole pain, fear, tension cycle. So you have pain, you're frightened of it, you tense up. That makes you release all sorts of hormones. There's a real chemical reaction in your body. You have the next pain, and because those chemicals are there, the pain feels worse, you get frightened again, and the tension builds again. So it goes around and around in a big circle. One of the other things that massage does is that it actually helps to interrupt the way in which pain messages are sent from your uterus to your brain. Women will often find that warm baths, even quite hot baths sometimes, are extremely helpful in labor, and they will also find that showering is helpful. And it probably is a combination of things. It's a combination of the water against your skin and the combination of heat. Distraction is actually a really useful tool, and it's probably really very helpful in early labor. People often find specific music helpful, and that of course is about maintaining a sort of a calm environment and reducing their fear, reducing their tension. And for some people that might be Guns N' Roses, and for some people that might be Bach, but it doesn't matter. It's whatever resonates with you and is your sort of comfort music. One of the groups of people who really have expertise in helping women in labor are doulas. They're a little bit different than anybody else on the whole healthcare team, and that's because their focus really truly is the woman. They're not there to make sure that her baby is well. They're not there to do medical things. They are there entirely and absolutely to support the woman in her plans for her labor. There's really good scientific evidence to say that people who have a constant support person through the course of labor are much less likely to require pain management, medical pain management. They're much less likely to require intervention during the course of labor, and their labors are likely to be shorter.
All moms giving birth at St. Joe's receive one-on-one care from a registered nurse during active labor and the pushing stage. The nurse who has been assigned to you will be available to offer support and reassurance to both you and your partner during this exciting but challenging time.
Some of you have probably heard about TENS. It's electronic stimulation that transmits little tiny electrical impulses, usually to your back. It's the whole theory of interrupting the flow of pain message from your uterus to your brain. TENS units have to be rented from an outside pharmacy. The hospital does not supply those. The other thing that you sometimes hear about is sterile water injections. These are usually administered by the midwives, not so much by other people. Again, does the same thing, interrupts the flow of pain messages from your uterus to your brain. So anything that gets in the way of that transmission will be extremely helpful. Hypnotherapy in labour is not so very common, but you can certainly discuss it with your care provider during your pregnancy because it needs some preparation, and you can arrange to have a hypnotherapy session during labour.
If you have any further questions about non-pharmacological pain relief, don't hesitate to talk to your healthcare provider.